All right. How are you guys doing today? How are you guys doing today? I have to get a few things in order, but man, shout out to everybody watching. Shout out to everybody who is tapping in to every single one of the live streams that we put up. And I do want to start off this video by saying rest in peace to Charlie Kirk. All right. I want to start off my video by saying rest in peace to Charlie Kirk, who I didn't agree with at all. At all. I thought Mr. Kirk was an example of, to be honest, just racism right in your face, right? I thought that Charlie Kirk was one of those people who he was allowed to spew blatant racism in the name of Christianity, in the name of religion, in the name of trying to come together and have conversations. Just, it's all bullshit, because every talking point that he had was pretty much rooted in racism. And there's a young man on YouTube who I enjoy his content. His name is Amir Odom. I thought that when I clicked on his video about Charlie Kirk, that I would get a genuine conversation. That, you know, when you have a video of Charlie Kirk calling an Asian man a chink, I would think that somebody like Amir, as intelligent as he is, as much as he hold people like Joe Biden and former VP Kamala Harris accountable, as much as he holds them accountable, I was thinking that he was also going to keep that same energy when it came to the things that we heard Charlie Kirk say. Now, I want to go directly into this video from a black woman so we can gauge how Charlie made people feel. Okay? Let's go directly into that. And then we're going to a Amir video, fair use. It's going to be a long day, guys. It's going to be a very long day. Okay? Let's go ahead and go to the video now.
They want us to humanize Charlie Kirk now that he's gone. But let's be real, he spent his entire life denying humanity to literally everyone else. So don't expect softness now. This man wasn't just a conservative talking head. He called the Civil Rights Act a mistake. He said Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson was nothing more than a DEI hire. He smeared Dr. King, mocked Black professionals, stoked fear of immigrants, and spent every breath turning white grievance into a brand. That's not political disagreement. That's a career built on stripping dignity away from entire groups of people. And here's the thing, right? The second he's gone, suddenly people want compassion. Suddenly it's about his family, his humanity, his legacy. Where was that energy when he was tearing ours down? When he was spitting on the humanity of Black people, Latinos, immigrants, queer folks? We're supposed to forget the damage because the man is dead? Death doesn't erase the harm. Death doesn't clean a record. And let's not pretend that that shot was sloppy rage. It was too clean. It was too sharp. Whoever did it knew exactly what they were doing. And the irony is that Charlie worshiped that same culture of guns and violence. Mm-hmm. He fed it. He amplified it. Mm-hmm. And it came back for him. That's not karma. That's America. So no, I'm not going to rewrite his story into something soft. The only sympathy that I have is for his children, because they didn't ask for his poison. But for Charlie Kirk, he made it his life's mission to divide, belittle, and dehumanize. And that's exactly how history should remember him. Not as a victim, not as a martyr, but as the hateful man that he chose to be. I think it's time you meet one of my puppies. This is Cooks. This is Cooks. Me cook. Oh, me cook.
Now, a lot of you guys are probably thinking, yeah, she was way too harsh on Charlie Kirk. She was way too harsh on Charlie Kirk. Okay. Now, again, the man on my thumbnail here, his name is Amir Odom. We're going to show you guys, right, his video. But before, again, because I don't like gaslighting, let me go to a video made by Hadi Rahim. Okay, Hadi Rahim, and he said a lot of interesting things about Charlie Kirk. I want you guys to hear this. I want you guys to hear this video about Charlie Kirk. And right after this video, then we'll get into everything that Mr. Odom has to say. Let's go.
Charlie Kirk is a racist and an idiot and one of the largest voices on the right. His fame is a relatively new thing. He went from being known only by online political junkies like myself in the late 2010s.
I live like a capitalist every single day, Chank. I live as a capitalist.
What?
The late 2010s.
I live like a capitalist every single day, Chank. I live as a capitalist. Okay.
What?
I live like a capitalist every single day, Chank. I live as a capitalist. Okay.
What? Excuse me?
A capitalist every single day, Chank. I live as a capitalist. Okay. I live when I believe.
Oh, here we have Charlie Kirk calling a Asian person a chink. Let's hear it one more time.
Political junkies like myself in the late 2010s.
I live like a capitalist every single day, Chank. I live as a capitalist. Okay. I live when I believe. What do? I get charity every single year. Hold on. What's my salary? Less than his.
Charlie,
Come on, Chank, let's go. What are you doing?
Come on, Chink, let's go. Come on, Chink, let's go. Now, I thought that. Now, I'm just pause it right there for a second, guys. I'm gonna pause it right there. Just let me turn my mic down too, because this is gonna get interesting, right? Because according to this portion of let me go to Amir's video, right? And he so graciously, he got the part about racism. So I'm going to go to his part about racism. I'm going to hear what he has to say about Charlie Kirk, right? Right? No, Nay, he called him a chink. He called him a chink. No, we're going to go back to it. Let's start with the racism part. Matter of fact, no. Let's do this right one by one. Let's go with the Second Amendment. So Amir wants to talk about Charlie Kirk, and he wants to break down all of the lies being told about Charlie Kirk. Nay is defending it, but we'll get to it. Everybody getting called out. Let's go.
Recapping all the things that are currently being said and discussed about Charlie Kirk, starting off with gun right.
And guys, fair use. I'm hoping that Amir, because he used other people's content all the time, I'm hoping that he doesn't strike my channel. Fair use. Let me also say this. Disclaimer, we don't know Charlie Kirk. We're just giving our opinion. This is commentary. All right, we're giving commentary, which is under the fair use law. Okay, so we're giving commentary to the video. We're doing some news reporting, and we're doing some research because we want to find out if, in fact, Charlie Kirk was racist. Right, and I'm going to go back to the chink video, but he wasn't talking about sink, Nay. Think. We know how sink sounds versus chink. We know when there's an H in there. But we'll go back to, let's start with gun rights. Let's start with Charlie Kirk and gun rights. Let's go.
You will never live in a society when you have an armed citizenry and you won't have a single gun death. That is nonsense. It's drivel. But I think it's worth it. I think it's worth to have a cost of, unfortunately, some gun deaths every single year, so that we can have the Second Amendment to protect our other God-given rights.
Now, hold on. Charlie just said, let me make sure I rewind this a little bit, because I don't want to miss anything that Charlie, he's God person to represent the right. So let me make sure I rewind everything he just said, because it sounded like he just said that we're going to have to suffer a certain amount of gun-related deaths so that way we keep our rights as Americans. Right? Now, some of these people might have fathers, might have daughters, might have sons, might have wives, might have families. right? Might be Americans, didn't deserve it. But according to Charlie, we need those deaths. We might have to suffer them in order to keep gun violence. So on this one, I'm actually going to agree with Charlie. Hey, sometimes people get knocked off randomly, publicly. Sometimes people, and maybe Charlie was right. Maybe in order to keep our American rights, some people might have to get knocked off. But let's see what Amir thinks about gun rights
that are currently being said and discussed about Charlie Kirk, starting off with gun rights.
You will never live in a society when you have an armed citizenry and you won't have a single gun death. That is nonsense. It's drivel. But I think it's worth it. I think it's worth to have a cost of, unfortunately, some gun deaths every single year so that we can have the Second Amendment to protect our other God-given rights. That is a prudent deal. It is rational.
And this is important because it's a clip that's kind of like a gotcha. Well, Charlie called for this. He asked for this. No, he did not. There's a strong difference between advocating for gun rights because you can protect yourself, but your personal safety, and also from a tyrannical government, versus the right for mentally ill people to commit political assassinations.
The fuck are you talking about? The fuck?
That's true.
So again, this is why this debate that and all of these debunking lies, you didn't debunk shit that Charlie said. You didn't even mention the fact that Charlie said that people need to die every year in order to keep these. Now let's have a real conversation, right? You didn't debunk a motherfucking thing. Charlie is a victim because he never thought that he was going to be one of those people that got shot and end up being a sacrificial lamb in order to get Americans their rights. He never thought that a white man that was not tied to black gang violence was going to take him out. As a matter of fact, the last question that they asked Charlie is, what was the race of all of the mass shootings in America? And Charlie's response was, what about, are you talking about the gang violence too? Meanwhile, a white man is preparing to take his life. See, Charlie was racist. Charlie advocated for guns to be on the streets. Charlie didn't want sniper rifles and all the rest of this stuff to be off the street, right? What if instead of using his platform to advocate for guns, I don't know, maybe he said, you know what, Donald Trump, I can't fuck with you until you get guns off the street, because maybe one day somebody would try to take me out with a sniper rifle for just simply being American. But nope, according to Charlie, there had to be a certain amount of deaths every year. Let's keep going.
There's a major difference, and obviously there's some context that goes into that. He's not advocating for political assassins to take place.
No, he never advocated for political assassinations, but he also said that a few deaths have to happen every year in order for us to keep our rights. How do you think those happen? So you're trying to say that political assassinations and, gang violence is different? Because that's what Charlie loved to talk about. Gang bangers are harming more each other. Black people are harming each other. Black people. Those niggers don't want to love each other. Now I got to edit this video out. They don't want to love each other. They're committing gang violence. The school shootings are happening. They're happening on their block all the time. Bro, okay, yes, he didn't advocate for political violence. Except the time where he said that Joe Biden, right? Except the time where he said that Joe Biden should get the death penalty. Oh, let me go ahead and show y'all that, right? Because I want to make sure that I combat everything that he is saying. Everything that Amir is saying. And I don't even like Joe Biden. I fucking hate Joe Biden, right? But let's see what Charlie Kirk had to say about Joe Biden. Right? Let me see if I got it here. Oh, here we go. I got you. Let's get it. Here we go. What did you think about Joe Biden, Charlie Kirk? Of course, you would never want, right? As a matter of fact, I don't want to do a reaction. Let me go to the other video. Let me go to what you actually said. We got the whole, here we go. Right? Now let's see what Charlie had to say about Joe Biden. Of course, Charlie would never want a sitting president or a former president to be put to death. Certainly that's not what he said. So let's go to the video now.
Joe Biden a lot. I mean, Joe Biden is a bumbling, dementia-filled Alzheimer's, corrupt tyrant who should honestly be put in prison and or given the death penalty for his crimes against America.
Joe Biden should be given the what? The what? Take the what and leave the what?
Joe Biden a lot. I mean, Joe Biden is a bumbling, dementia-filled Alzheimer's, corrupt tyrant who should honestly be put in prison and or given the death penalty for his crimes against America. But Kamala Harris, my goodness, there's something that just kind of is tribal where people are like, I don't Joe Biden a lot.
Oh, it's almost like he just said that Joe Biden should get the death penalty for his crimes against America. It's almost like he's advocating for people to vote on Joe Biden being put to death. That's what he was saying. So we can stop all of this bullshit about Joe Biden was worse than fucking Charlie Kirk and Trump. No, Charlie Kirk was a piece of shit. It is what it is. Again, I condemn what happened to him. He didn't deserve what happened to him, but he had it coming. He didn't deserve what Charlie Kirk did not deserve what happened to him, but he had it coming. There is a difference. I'll break down that later. Let's finish your fucking video.
He's not advocating for crazy people to just go out there and be shooting people willy-nilly. No, he's acknowledging the fact that some shootings will happen, but we also can acknowledge that this assassination of Charlie Kirk is bigger than just a random shooting. That's not what this is.
No, what Charlie Kirk shooting is white on white crime. That's what it is. What Charlie Kirk shooting is white on white crime. Why you're not doing videos about Tyler Robinson? Why you're not doing videos about Tyler Robinson and the kind of man he was? Let me make sure trucking. I'm about to give you a wrench, bro. Let's get it. Trucking back on the board. Why are you not doing videos about Tyler Robinson? Why he pulled the trigger? Where he got the gun from? Why is there not an investigation into why HBCUs were threatened after Charlie Kirk's death? Right? From my research, Tyler Robinson never went to a HBCU. He never went to one. And let me open up the chat too, right? It's been 20 minutes. So if y'all been subscribed, then you should be able to leave a comment. All right? Let's keep going, man.
It was a planned and targeted attack. That's what that was. It was an attempt to silence this extremely growing faction of people that are going against mainstream media, speaking up for the truth and being loud about it. A move
speaking up for the truth. Speaking up for the truth. So let's hear some of Charlie Kirk's truth, right? Because again, according to Amir, they were speaking up for the truth. And they just want the truth to be the truth, and they were speaking up for the truth. Okay. Let's make sure. I want to find a video about black people not being fucking qualified, right? Not being qualified. And I think I got to go to Abby Phillips' Instagram to go find this clip. So let me keep this going for a second, but. No, matter of fact, no. I'm staying here until I go find a clip because this is bigger than me. This needs to be exposed. Period. Okay? Let me go to it because if you guys don't know who Abby Phillips is, she is a host on CNN. And they were talking about the whole situation of is somebody qualified or not. Like if somebody make it past the FAA and they get hired, to fly planes, what the fuck is the problem? But these men, they're so racist that they genuinely believe that these institutions will hire somebody to fly a plane full of families, Americans, of people who are not qualified. And then when you look at the list of pilots who have fallen out of the air, a big production of them are white. Let's see what this says. If TR was black, we would know every speeding ticket every time he bought coffee, every ex that he had a bad experience with. Who is TR? But let me show y'all this video, right? Because this is going to break down, because I'm debunking Amir's video, right? You guys are not over there spreading the truth. What you guys are over there doing is lying. That's what you're over there doing. You're lying. Nothing more, nothing less.
Charlie Kirk was assassinated for his political beliefs. There were 58 Democrats who would not vote for a resolution to honor him.
Okay, so if Tyler Robinson was black, we would know every speeding ticket he got. Yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact. If the shooter was a black person or an Arabic or an immigrant, something like that, we would know every single thing that happened to him in life. Everything, his text messages, everything. They hide the fact that this man was a Trump supporter. Now, again, as you guys just heard, I think 68 different Democrats voted to not honor Charlie Kirk's memory. And they did it because of a reason. He was spewing hatred. You guys are not over there speaking the truth, Amir Odom. You guys are over there lying. And also, guys, if you want to find all the rest of my content, there is a QR code at the top. If you take a picture of that QR code and simply click on the link, you guys will be able to get access to everything else that, you know, we're doing around here, man. So go tap into that link, guys. Let's go.
When Charlie Kirk was assassinated for his political beliefs, there were 58 Democrats who would not vote for a resolution.
We don't know why Charlie Kirk has been assassinated, right? Nobody has actually talked to that young man to know why he did what he did. You guys are trying to make him a fucking victim by saying, well, he was assassinated because of his political beliefs. We don't know why that young man pulled the trigger.
To honor him. So
and I was one of them.
Why do you think it was?
I don't mind honoring anybody's life. I've got a problem with their legacy. And I know what the legacy of Kirk was. When I turn on my TV and I see someone telling me what an awful person Martin Luther King Jr. was. When I see somebody telling me, if I get on an airplane and there's a black pilot, I begin to wonder, is he qualified? What does that mean? Those are the words that came out of his mouth.
That's not what he said. And
that's exactly what he said. And as you see, guys, we share a country full of a certain race of men that will deny. And now, because he said that's not what Charlie said, now I'm forced to go pull up the clips of what Charlie said. God damn it. God damn it. Not qualified. Let's go ahead and find these videos. Jesus Christ, bro. Like the fact that y'all just won't tell the truth, that's exactly what he said. He said that black people were not qualified. Black women specifically, because they don't have the brain processing power. That's not what Charlie said. Now we got to go to the video, right? And you know why we got to play the video? Because y'all are liars. Big liars.
Stop the cap. Stop the cap right now. Stop the cap. No bullshit, bro.
Now we're here for Mr. Kirk himself. Now, you said Mr. Kirk was lying. Let me let y'all hear the claim again.
That's exactly what he said. When I turn on my TV and I see someone telling me what an awful person Martin Luther King Jr. was. When I see somebody telling me, if I get on an airplane and there's a black pilot, I begin to wonder, is he qualified? What does that mean? Those are the words that came out of his mouth.
That's not what he said. And
that is exactly what he said.
Okay. Fine. Let's listen to Mr. Kirk ourselves.
Joy Reid and Michelle Obama and Sheila Jackson Lee and Ketanji Brown Jackson were affirmative action picks, we would have been called the racist. But now they're coming out and they're saying it for us. They're coming out and they're saying, I'm only here because of affirmative action. Yeah, we know. You do not have the brain processing power to otherwise be taken really seriously. You had to go steal a white person's slot to go be taken somewhat seriously. Play cut 52.
But I rise today as a clear recipient of affirmative action, and particularly in higher education. I may have been admitted on affirmative action, both in terms of being a woman and a woman of color, but I can declare that I did not graduate on affirmative action. This is my personal story.
I hear because of action affirmative. She can't even say that. We know. It's very obvious to us that you were not smart enough to be able to get in on your own. I wonder
if Charlie felt that way about his relationship with Candace Owens. I wonder if he felt that way about his relationship with Candace Owens, and that's why, they hire her on. I wonder if they brought Candace Owens on as a DEI hire. Let's hear more of what Charlie had to say, man. Rest in peace, Charlie, man. I hate it had to be you, doggy. They kept warning you, bro. Stop. But, Charlie did him until he couldn't no more.
On my own, so I needed to take opportunities from someone more deserving. This is how arrogant Joy Reid and Ketanji Brown Jackson and Michelle Obama and Sheila Jackson Lee are. They're so narcissistic, they think this is persuasive. They think we're like, oh, of course, that's why we need affirmative action, because you have impressed us with your brilliance. Of course. Oh no, imagine the world without Joy Reid. Imagine the world without Sheila Jackson Lee or Michelle Obama or Ketanji Brown Jackson. They think this is persuasive.
You're literally talking about a former first lady of the fucking White House, but you're supposed to be patriotic.
Shut up, silly woman.
You're supposed to be patriotic. Oh, you don't give a fuck about America until it's somebody who look like you. So he did say those things, bro. Why the fuck do y'all think we gotta lie on this white boy?
I think as they kind of now reveal that I'm only here because of anti-white, anti-Asian forced discrimination policies. That turned me into a bitter, resentful activist that hates white people, honestly, through our
None of us hate no white people, bro. What we hate is gaslighting. What we hate is disingenuous conversation. What we hate is you making it seem like you was for the people and speaking up for people when really you was doing nothing else except being racist, bro. That's all it is, bro. And the data literally talked about how white women were the ones who were having the lower test scores, and they were the ones that was getting in the most due to DEI. Like, what are we talking about? And again, the last thing he want to talk about is black gang violence. And here comes Tyler Robinson saying, shh. Go to sleep, Charlie. It's not good. Shh. Shh. Let's keep going, man. I'm done with the Second Amendment conversation. I want to hear it. I don't want to hear the empathy part 2. I don't want to hear about gay and trans people. I do want to get to the racism part. My brother says, why was Kirk so mad at everyone? I think that a lot of white men, they started to wake up one day and see a black man living across the street from them. They started to go down to the Ford dealership, and it was a black man buying an Expedition just like theirs. Then they went down to the coffee shop. Black man already done got his coffee with his white woman. Right? Right? Or in some case, he might be like Amir, right? They might be of a different taste. And they might have a white man too, right? He like, damn, they everywhere. They taking over. They taking our jobs, taking our sons, our daughters. They taking everything. And, he wasn't happy about it, considering that the country used to be, all white, all right. But now it's not like that. Now it belongs to all of us. And he couldn't fathom that. He couldn't fathom that it belonged to all of us. But let's get to the whole part that Amir said he will debunk all the lies about Charlie Kirk being a racist. Let's see.
Racism.
You are here in the wealthiest country ever, at an amazing university, with all the opportunity imaginable in front of you. And all you want to do is look backwards at everything that prevented you, when you are a glaring example that there is no systemic racism and you can actually achieve your wildest dreams.
Oh, yeah. Whoa, indeed. So now we got to do it. Because on this channel, we debunk actual lies. Okay? Let's go ahead and turn the Wi-Fi on. And I'm going to do this right now. Let's go to Gemini, because, I'm not that smart, guys. I'm a C student. So let's go ahead and go to Gemini. Gemini, what can you tell me about systemic racism, and has it ever impacted Black people in America? There we go.
Systemic racism refers to the ways in which racism is embedded in the laws, policies, institutions, and practices of a society, leading to widespread and persistent disadvantages for people of color. Unlike individual acts of prejudice or discrimination, systemic racism is a form of institutional discrimination that operates throughout an entire society. It is often invisible because it is not the result of a single person or group's intentional actions, but rather the result of a system of rules and procedures that were created and continue to operate with racial bias. Black people in America have been disproportionately and profoundly impacted by systemic racism throughout history and continue to be affected today. Its roots can be traced back to slavery in the Jim Crow era, and its effects are still evident in various aspects of life. Here are some key areas where systemic racism has impacted Black people in America. Criminal justice. Black people are disproportionately overrepresented in the criminal justice system. They are more likely to be stopped by police, arrested, convicted, and receive harsher sentences for the same crimes as white people. This is a result of policies and practices such as biased policing and sentencing, and it has long-lasting consequences on individuals and communities, including disenfranchisement and limited opportunities. Housing and wealth. Discriminatory housing policies, most notably redlining, have historically restricted Black people from owning homes in certain neighborhoods. This has led to segregated communities with underfunded schools and fewer resources. Since homeownership is a primary way to build generational wealth, these policies have contributed significantly to the racial wealth gap, with Black Americans owning significantly less wealth than white Americans. Education. Systemic racism in education is tied to housing segregation, as schools are often funded by local property taxes. This has led to underfunded schools in predominantly Black neighborhoods, which in turn results in fewer resources, lower quality education, and fewer opportunities for students. Studies have also shown that Black students are less likely to be referred to gifted programs, even when they have similar test scores to their white peers. Healthcare. Black Americans face significant health disparities and are more likely to suffer from chronic illnesses like heart disease and diabetes. Systemic racism in healthcare can manifest in various ways, including implicit bias among healthcare providers, which can lead to Black patients receiving lower doses of pain medication or being misdiagnosed. This is also reflected in the maternal mortality rate, where Black women are about 3 times more likely to die from pregnancy-related complications than white women, regardless of their education or income level. Employment and wages. Systemic racism affects employment through biased hiring processes and disparate wage levels. Studies have shown that job applicants with white-sounding names receive more callbacks than those with black-sounding names, and there is a significant wage gap between black and white workers in the U.S. This contributes to economic vulnerability and makes it more difficult for black people to achieve financial stability. Political disenfranchisement. Historically, Jim Crow laws used tactics like poll taxes and literacy tests to prevent black people from voting. While these laws have been outlawed, modern-day voter suppression efforts, such as gerrymandering and restrictive voter ID laws, continue to disproportionately affect black communities, making their votes count less and limiting their political representation.
Okay, so it turns out that we actually do have systemic racism, right? And it impacts us on so many different levels. We just covered employment and wages, right? We just covered the healthcare aspect of it, education, housing and wealth, criminal justice, right? Systemic racism impacts black people on a plethora of different levels. The reason why somebody like Amir can't see it is because he simply is ignoring it. Because he was in love with Charlie Kirk.
I never said that. Hey, I'm not the only black person who exists out there. There's so many people who this culture is affecting to this day.
Do you know black Americans are the richest black people on earth?
And then that was a dumbass point that Charlie originally made. So just because this student is a young black student in college, that means that there is no institutionalized racism at all. How the fuck does that correlate to the women that are losing their lives in a hospital more than white women because of young black boys in college? But that's how fucking stupid these new guys are. Because let's be honest, they weren't raised by their fathers. They didn't have any masculine men in their life. This is why they live the lifestyle that they live in the first place, which is crazy. A lifestyle that Charlie Kirk himself didn't even fucking agree with. But at the end of the day, they in love with white zaddy. They in love with, you know what? Amir said something in this fucking show that triggered me. He was like, I am the representation of what my fathers and grandfathers' dream was. To live free and speak free. I don't even want to get into that because we're on YouTube. But no, you're not. No, you're not. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. The reason why you have a grandfather is because you slept with women. And he made your mother or your father. Right? But you know what? Let me keep going.
What statistic is that? Okay, I need you to pull that up like right now.
You can. Black Americans per capita on average.
Can you pull that up?
I mean, I'm hosting an event right now. I don't know what to tell.
Just because you're hosting an event means that you can't fucking pull up your facts. I don't understand why y'all was like, the thing about black men like Amir Odom is they fall in love with white men who doing better than them because he would never be accepted into black society. And we all know a lot of reasons why. It's not about his sexuality. I have gay friends. It's about his ideology, right? His ability to see something wrong and completely ignore it. It's just that simple. To say that Charlie Kirk wasn't racist is just fucking ridiculous. We condemn what happened to him. He should be alive today. Okay? But he's a fucking bigot. Or he was a bigot. He was a racist. And yes, he also was a father too. He was a alleged Christian that spreaded hate everywhere he went. Let's hear more about this racism bullshit.
Tell you, but anyone can fact check me on this. So you cannot find a black majority country or any country where black people have significant representation where they are as wealthy, because even the poorest people in America are in the top 5%, the top 2% of wealth around the world. And so my whole belief is stop acting like you're a victim and start making better choices.
We are victims of slavery. We are victims of oppression. We're literally victims. And again, should we tell, Turning Point USA and the rest of the Kirk family, stop acting like victims? No, they want us to have all the empathy in the world for them. When we're watching him have no empathy at all for us. Not even in the fucking slightest. And that's why it's hard for me to even fight with my wife or my contemporaries in the name of defending his life. Because again, I could defend his life, but I can't defend his legacy. You deserve to live. You don't deserve to have your legacy uplifted. Nope, absolutely not. Let's keep going.
That's not racism. I am my ancestors' dream.
No, you're not.
I'm in the deep South, Tennessee. I don't know, 40, 60 feet. Probably above tons of my ancestors that were slaves hundreds of years ago.
Child.
Living their dream right now. I am my grandfather's dream, who could not speak openly like this, who actually dealt with the Jim Crow laws, who actually dealt with the real racism. I'm afforded every opportunity any white person is in this country right now. Are there economical differences? For sure. Are there some systemic things that we can get into? For sure. But I'm not going to...
For sure. Are there some systemic things that we can get into? For sure. Are there some economical differences? For sure.
Those economic differences come from systemic racism, colonization. And again, you don't want to talk about that because then your friends, your pals that you get along with, you gotta look at them and say, y'all fucked up. Y'all fucked up. You don't want to admit, right? You don't want to admit that your man's was racist and he was fucked up, bro. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but the truth is the truth, bro. Let's keep going.
Sit here and act like I don't have it better than every other generation of Black people that have come before me in this nation. I have it better. We all have it better. We genuinely do. I don't understand how people can sit here and call Charlie Kirk a racist when even back in 2018, 1920, hosted events like the Young Black Leadership Summit, where he would take 200 to 300 young Black people all across the United States, invite.
He only took people who agreed with his specific rhetoric, with his specific hatred. And y'all throw all these Black people together. Most of these Black people were not Black people. They were Africans, Trinidadians, all that kind of shit. They're not descendants of slaves. They're people who want to be with a white lover just like motherfucking Candace Owens and yourself. It's just that simple, bro. This video that he did was complete goofy shit. And this is why they talking about him the way they talking about him. Y'all want him to be remembered like MLK. He would never be remembered like MLK. Because he was spewing hatred. Period.
Invite them to DC, invite them to meet the president, invite them to the White House, invite them on this journey and this conference to learn more.
Just because he invited Black people to the White House doesn't mean that he wasn't racist. Fuck are you talking about? You think that just because I'm hanging out with somebody who don't give a fuck about Black people, and it just so happens that he's Black, and I'm gonna take him around other niggas who don't give a fuck about Black people, and then I'm gonna get on here and say that Black people don't have the processing power. Ketanji Brown and all these Black women don't have the processing power. But because I took Candace Owens to go shake Donald Trump's hand, Black people were supposed to, forget about all the fucking shit you said? Pathetic.
About the Black history in this nation from other Black people, to hear about stories that aren't taught in schools, to see a different side of our past as victors and not victims, being a part of founding organizations like Blexit, where they are active in a ton of different states, in a ton of low-income Black neighborhoods, giving young Black kids mentors, school supplies.
When I looked up Blexit and all the cities they had been through, they wasn't going to low-income neighborhoods. They wasn't going to Detroit. It wasn't in Chicago. It was going to places where it was fucking basically middle-class people. People who wanted to vote for Donald Trump specifically. It wasn't going to it wasn't going to O Block to talk to them about what's going on in the ghetto. Fuck out of here, bro.
rides, field trips, events, block parties, that man. But people just want to say, oh, he was racist because he said this one thing. That's not how this works. You're allowed to have an opinion. You're allowed to say things. And also,
actually, this is exactly how this works. Your man says something racist, so you're racist. Period. Period. Your man says something racist, so he's a racist. Right? Now he's not here to talk about black women processing power of their brain and all the rest of this goofy shit he was doing. Now you're not here to do that shit no more. Let's keep going.
You as a person watching this video, you're allowed to fact check everything for yourself. You're allowed to think deeper and think critical about the things that are being said. That's okay for you to do. And the things Charlie Kirk often talked about blew my mind, especially on the topic of race. Because as someone, again, who was in the streets marching with BLM, crying my eyes out because of the pain that I felt being a black man in America and a gay man, double marginalized, double victimized, and going to these events and meeting these people and talking to these people and realizing, wow, actually, I don't have it that bad. You could have told me.
Realizing after I talked to these people, I don't have it that bad. I don't have it that bad. We're not talking about just you. We're talking about black people in their entirety. That's what we're talking about. It's just that simple, bro. We're talking about when he was talking about people like Michelle Obama. What if he said that you didn't have the process? What if he said that, like, what if right now I say that Amir Odom doesn't have the brain processing power to be a great content creator? He shouldn't be a content creator. He should be somewhere washing dishes, picking cotton. If I was Charlie Kirk, he'd say, that's not racist. He has a right to his opinion. You can't make this shit up, bro. Let's go.
10,000 black people were being shot and killed by the police, unarmed. And most years, more people are being struck by lightning than black unarmed men are being shot by the cops. That man, Charlie Kirk, was not a racist man. Affirmative action.
If you see a black person in a position, or minority or whatever, the assumption is that that person is not qualified, when literally, and you have to be qualified in order to even to get in that position.
Well, so let's take college admissions. So this is a great example. At Harvard, we learned because of new revealed documents that black students were having test scores that were 30 to 35% lower than their white counterparts.
Okay.
And so therefore, if you saw a black kid at Harvard, it's a fact that they were not having the same test standards as their white counterparts.
Still doesn't matter. The kid has to get through, he's got to get through the classes, do the tests, do all the research.
Well, they actually drop out at a greater rate too. But the point being is just the idea that they were there, number one, took a spot from an otherwise qualified individual that might be white. And they were not there on the same merits. So what we want is the same rules for everybody.
You're making the assumption that they're not qualified in order to get in. In order to even get there,
it's not the assumption, it's the data. So for example, it's literally at Harvard, you had kids with perfect SAT scores, perfect ACT scores that were white.
So that makes a degree from Harvard worthless then.
Well, you're exactly right. Yeah, actually, Harvard's degree is becoming more worthless because it's more race-based than merit-based. You're exactly.
And the fact that Amir, kept his dick-sucking lips quiet and didn't say that, that's absurd. That's absolutely absurd. Anybody in the world knows that a degree from Harvard is a fucking privilege. It's an accomplishment out of this world. Out of this world. Where did Charlie Kirk get his degree from? Let me look that up. Because certainly he had to go to a school that was, way better than Harvard. This motherfucker went to Harper College. He was accepted into Baylor and Waco, Texas, but he decided to enroll into Harper College, a community college in Illinois. And then he dropped out after one semester. But in this video, he's talking about how black people drop out. Let's go again, right? They drop out. Okay.
Qualified in order to even to get in that position.
Well, so let's take college admissions. So this is a great example. At Harvard, we learned because of new revealed documents that black students were having test scores that were 30 to 35% lower than their white counterparts.
Okay.
And so therefore, if you saw a black kid at Harvard, it's a fact that they were not having the same test standards as their white counterparts.
Still doesn't matter. The kid has to get through, he's got to get through the classes, do the tests, do all the research.
Well, they actually drop out at a greater rate too. But the point being is just the idea that they were there, number one, took a spot from an otherwise qualified individual that might be white. And they were not there on the same merits. So we want is the same rules for everybody.
You're making the assumption that they're not qualified in order to get in. In order to even get there,
it's not the assumption. It's the data. So, for example, it's literally at Harvard, you had kids with perfect SAT scores, perfect ACT scores that were white.
So that makes a degree from Harvard worthless then.
Well, you're exactly right. Yeah, actually, Harvard's degree is becoming more worthless because it's more race-based than merit-based. You're exactly right.
No, he is fucking wrong. And on top of that, let's talk about Charlie Kirk's qualifications. Right? Let's talk about Charlie Kirk's qualifications. Charlie Kirk never graduated college, guys. Charlie Kirk applied to the United States Military Academy in West Point, New York, and was rejected. Let me go ahead and zoom this in, because I want you guys to not see this. He was rejected. The military didn't want Charlie Kirk. Right? Kirk was rejected at West Point. He was accepted into Baylor University, but he chose to enroll into college at Harper College, which is a community college here in Illinois. He dropped out after one semester. So you worse than these black people that you talk about. You only stayed in college after one semester, you fucking unqualified bitch. You don't got no college degree. Does Charlie Kirk have a college degree? He dropped out after one semester. In 2015, Kirk was enrolled part-time at King's College in New York City, where he took online classes. He never received a college degree during his lifetime, a fact he often noted in debates with academics and students. It's almost like, so he didn't graduate from college. Let's look at, I don't know, Kamala Harris' education. Let's see. Wow. So Kamala Harris went to Howard University. Then she went to UC Law in San Francisco. Wow. I gotta look more into this. This is crazy. I got. Let me see. I want to make sure I ask specific questions. College degree. Let's see what she has. Kamala Harris holds a Bachelor of Arts from Howard University and a Juris Doctor from the University of California, Hastings College of Law. Wow. It's almost like she was more qualified than Charlie Kirk. That's almost what it sounds like. It sounds like she was more qualified than Charlie Kirk, but you let him speak. Hey, it's nothing else but DEI. Y'all not qualified. Meanwhile, this motherfucker didn't even graduate from fucking college, bro. Oh my fucking God.
God damn it! You can't make this shit up!
All right, so only a few more sections to cover. Next, we have critical race theory. Let's go to that part.
Critical race theory.
Let me tell. Okay, y'all can laugh, but until you have walked as a black person on this campus, Y'all truly don't understand.
CJ, come here. Really quick. I have a question. Come here. Go right there. So CJ, just really quick. You're a black person. Are you hunted at the university?
You know, I don't feel hunted at this university, but I guess the difference between me and some people here is that I don't choose to be a victim, Charlie, which I think is the biggest problem we have here today are people who wake up every single day looking for a reason to be oppressed, looking for a reason to cry and make an excuse about why they're not.
A reason to be oppressed? Who the fuck wakes up saying, I want to be oppressed today? I can't wait to be oppressed today. I love nothing more than being oppressed. And I can't wait to be oppressed again. The fuck are you talking about, bro? But again, these are, what it seems like men who live a different lifestyle, who love white boys for a lot of reasons. And they also pro-Trump and pro everything that's they pro everything that's against black people. And I would love to invite Amir here for a debate. He won't be attacked. And he can break this down and we can have a genuine conversation. But I doubt that ever happened because people like that never want to have genuine conversations. They just want to spew their rhetoric online. That's all it is.
Not in a position to go win. I don't see the color of my skin as a disability. I see it as simply an accessory that I couldn't control. I've been black all my life. I've been black today. And I'm thriving here. I think that's a roll tide right there, right?
And so CJ, let me ask you, CRT, racist?
It's not just racist. It's the exact iteration of white supremacy, just in reverse. I think it's important that we start teaching young people not to hate other people because of the color of their skin. We can teach black people to be proud of who they are without telling white people they should be ashamed of who they are. You know?
Amen.
Yeah.
Look at him shaking his head. That's right, brother. That's right, brother. This is the reason why we can't respect you, Amir. But whatever you got planned, turn it off. Let's keep going.
So, closing thought, CJ, is this trying to divide the country?
It's not only trying to divide the country, it's trying to break apart the foundation upon which it was built. You know, people forget the words of MLK, Rosa Parks, all those people who fought so hard for us to be united country, where we didn't see the color of one's skin, but their character. This is about taking us away from the vision and the dream of Martin Luther King and just taking us to the dream of Kamala Harris. And I don't want to live.
What the fuck are you talking about taking us from the dream of MLK to the dream of Kamala Harris? And on top of that, to say that MLK didn't see racism while he was being hosed down by fucking firefighters and policemen, dogs biting people, old women and shit doing the Selma March, you're out of your fucking mind. What Dr. King tried to do was have a genuine conversation about racism and said we all need to band together. Love is the only way. But he absolutely knew that racism exists. That's why he knew that he would never see the world where a white boy and a black boy would actually be friends, because he knew that was going to take him out the game. He knew, like he said in his plenty of speeches, that the FBI and other organizations mostly ran by white men, they was doing shit to fuck his life up. But people on the right don't never want to have a conversation about it. They just want to continue to spew racist propaganda, participate in it, because listen, I'm gonna speak frankly. Guys like these guys are gay guys. And listen, we love the LGBTQIA2S plus community, but we're gonna speak frank. These guys are fucking white guys. These guys are fucking guys that look just like Charlie Kirk. These guys are getting on their knees for guys that look just like Charlie Kirk. So at the end of the fucking day, they're gonna do the same thing that a white woman would do for somebody like Charlie Kirk when they be on their knees. They're gonna keep sucking dick. Right? That's just what it is. critical race theory. How could critical race theory, a conversation that's being had about the truthful things that happen to black people, be racist? I just fucking ridiculous, bro.
That dream.
Amen. CJ, you're a great American. Give it up for CJ, everybody. So good.
That is my friend CJ Pearson. Shout out to CJ. Incredible video.
That is my friend CJ Pearson. Oh my god.
That sums up really well how Charlie Kirk and a lot of other people felt about critical race theory. And it's fun. It's
people who thought like y'all, not a lot of people. People who thought like y'all who are fucking idiots.
Interesting, that black girl that started off the video. If you were black on this campus, you would see how we really feel. We have to stop speaking on behalf of everybody. We do.
You mean like when Charlie Kirk said that black women don't have the brain processing power? You mean like that? Pussy?
That quick. There's another black person, another student at that university in that audience that said, I'm having a different experience than you. I love it here. I'm thriving here. Mindset matters a lot, you guys.
I mean, yeah, if you're sucking white man dick, you might have a different experience than the ones who are not.
Yeah, we love white guys. Oh my fucking god. We love Charlie Kirk.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're gonna get a whole different experience than the ones of us who are fucking challenging him, bro. I'm trying to be nice. I'm trying to keep it so corporate, bro. Oh my god.
On the topic of critical race theory, we're allowed to teach black history. We're allowed to, it's American history. We're allowed to teach those things. I never understood this concept of critical race. You're focusing on race and Black History Month. No, we don't need it.
What the fuck? Again, we don't need a Black History Month. We don't need a black. That's that racist shit that we're talking about. Why the fuck would you want to remove Black History Month? Why the fuck would that even be a thought of yours? How about we stop removing rights from your group? The men who like sucking other men's dick. How about we start removing those rights? But then we'd be homophobic. That's what I'm saying, bro. Let's keep going, man. I don't even want to get too far into that.
Incorporate a Black American and Black history into our nation's history and teach it all year round. I don't need a separate month to celebrate my race.
We don't give a fuck about what you need. It's already been done. That's what our ancestors want. That's what they fought for. We don't give a fuck about what little short pieces of shit, weak, feminine men like you, if I can even call you a fucking man. It like you will even fucking care about. We don't care. We don't. As a matter of fact, it's of my belief that weak men like you on the right, but broken fucking black men, that white man can say, unzip their fucking buck buckles, pull out their fucking little pink dick, put it right in your mouth and tell you all the little policies. You're gonna say, okay, Kirk. That's the facts, bro. Y'all weak ass dick sucking. I can't even use the word I want to use. Y'all pathetic, bro. And as soon as Charlie Kirk would have nutted all over your bitch ass face, he would have went back outside and shitted on gay people and shitted on black men. The last words your beloved Charlie Kirk talked about was gang violence, and then pop. Now he gone. You see? He could have been talking about white man violence. He could have been talking about why we should not have sniper rifles in America. But nope, he was talking about gang violence. Like he was on fucking like the nigga act like he was on 63rd and fucking Chicago and shit. Nigga, you was in Utah, bro. You are leagues away from gang violence. End up getting your pussy ass popped by Tyler Robinson, a white boy who's also from Utah, never been associated with any black people at all. Meanwhile, y'all threatening HBCUs, doing all this goofy shit, this passive aggressive shit. Y'all better be careful. Y'all fucking around. Now, again, I condemn Charlie Kirk's murder, but I'm not a fool either. If they know they can catch him slipping, they can catch all y'all slipping. Y'all gotta relax, man. Y'all gotta start spewing some loving shit, bro. And which one of y'all gonna marry Erica Kirk, or is she gonna become a fucking baby mama?
Because that's what it's looking like. And looking like Charlie Kirk just made a white woman a baby mama. You know what? Let's keep going.
I actually think it's racist to reduce my lineage and my family's American history to 1 month. It's just American history. And we can talk about it, we can teach about it without teaching Black people to be victims, that they're owed something from white people and have white people feel bad for being white because of what happened in the past. It's the
I think I rest in my victimhood. You white people enslaved my ancestors, just like y'all did the Jewish people. Okay, y'all are demons, and doing this all in the name of Christianity is absolutely absurd, right? That's why I'm doing a video once a week. Maybe I might do it once a day about white on white violence, because Charlie Kirk was a victim of white male rage, white male entitlement, white male violence, white males need to dominate, white males precision with firearms, which if Kamala Harris was I don't know, maybe president of the United States of America, maybe she would have did what the fuck she said she was going to do and have a lot of those guns banned. However, people like, I don't know, Charlie Kirk, he made it so that, I don't know, Donald Trump got in office, so I don't know, he can keep guns in fucking, rotation. Now, somebody like Tyler Robinson is saying, oh yeah, I'm gonna catch that motherfucker slipping. Oh, how you gonna get him, bro? He's 200 yards away. Don't worry about it. My father has taught me all about guns. He's fucked. And guess what? He'll never see me coming. They're going to be looking for a white man. And they're never looking for a white man. They're going to be looking for a black man and an immigrant. I'm going to be able to completely get away. Ciao. Hey, Vixen. We breaking down this Charlie Kirk video is absolutely insane.
I don't have to feel bad about it because things have changed. Again, in my ancestors' dream, I'm afforded every right they wish they had. They can't even fathom the life I'm living right now. They can't. So on the topic of critical race theory and using that to call Charlie racist, kind reminder, there are tons of Black people who are against critical race theory too. So you're gonna sit here in front of my face and all these other Black people's face and call them all racist and they're racist?
Yeah. If you're a Black person and you think that we need to ban critical race theory, then you're racist. Yeah. You're gonna sit up here and tell all of us that we're racist? Yeah. Abso-fucking-lutely. You're racist. What y'all want us to do, right? Because this all that critical race theory do, right? You would have a white person or a Black person that suck white man dick, like, I don't know, maybe like the one we're looking at now. And they would say, hey, we never had slaves. Those people, they just worked for the people in the South. A lot of slave masters were friends with the slave masters. They was all cool, kicking it. They wanted to work there. They directly neglect to mention the brutality, the rape, the pillaging, the removal of families, the taking children away from their fucking mothers and fathers and sending them to whole different fucking states. And then the abuse that they had to get suffered. They forget that they had pleasure houses where the women would be sold off. So there was open prostitution, right? No, let's just talk about America and that portion of time like it was a fucking love story. That's why, you know what, men like this young man right here get on my fucking nerves because they don't want to tell the truth. Our country was built on some of the worst things that's ever happened to any humans. Before the slaves even got to America, they was already being raped. They was already being pillaged. They was already being thrown off boats, right? Shackled the fuck up. Forced to watch awful things happen to their fucking children. Forced to black women being used as incubators. That's a fact. But you don't want to talk about who is at the hands of all of this. A white motherfucker that looked just like Charlie Kirk. I don't have time for this. How much more of this do I have? Immigration. No, the last part I want to cover is abortion. Let's go ahead and get to it. Because Charlie also said that he was an American. But you got to remember, as an American, we have a separation between church and state. But Charlie didn't want women to get abortions because he felt like that was against God. But we don't give a fuck about what God thinks in this situation because we are making laws and we have a separation between church and state. Let's get to that part and then we out of here.
And thousands of other Hispanic people who back Charlie Kirk on those statements. The man's anti-immigration and so racist. No, he is not. Abortion.
Everybody, do me a favor. Please be respectful, okay?
Before we even get in, everybody be respectful. So we see what this person looks like, and you would think, oh, they're gonna get, beat by MAGA people and so judged and harassed. And no, it actually turns out to be a very productive and nice, calming debate. Not even debate, just conversation. But this is who they got rid of. The man that starts off a college debate. Everyone be respectful.
Hello.
Yeah.
So I have a few leading questions before my main one, because I have to be honest, I don't really know that much about you. So would you say that you're very...
I love this interaction so much because I applaud this woman that instead of going to her friend...
Oh my fucking God.
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care.
Let me tell you.
We don't care.
Just get to the fucking video.
I am religious. However, every one of my political positions is defensible from a non-religious perspective.
Okay, great. So I was under the impression that your beliefs on abortion were stemming from your religious beliefs.
Well, at the core, that is correct, but...
Okay, shut up then. If at the core, your religious beliefs is what backs your political abortion beliefs, then we don't give a fuck. It's just that simple. We gotta stop. I don't know who you are, Lauren, but thank you and welcome to the channel. We gotta stop. You are trying to change our country based off your religious beliefs, which is unconstitutional.
You can get that it is defensible from using reason and prudence, as I have done the last couple of...
Cool. So you're not trying to illegalize abortion based on the Bible?
Well, no, not based on the Bible. My personal conviction comes from the Bible. I want to make abortion illegal because it is the only applicable extension of laws we already and standards we already have in the West. Correct.
I'm sorry, can you maybe rephrase that?
Eliminating abortion is the only logical step while we apply the standard we already have in this country to unborn life. So we have murder laws.
Yes.
Therefore, murder laws should apply to unborn life as it does to born life.
Okay. So again, reiterating, you're not trying to instate laws based on Christian beliefs because that would be unconstitutional, right?
Well, not again, sort of, but no, I am not.
So what? Let me go back on that. Hold on, because I couldn't imagine a Muslim person saying this. Are you trying to get laws pushed based on your religion, Muhammad? Sort of, but not really. Then okay, we gotta get this nigga up out of here. That's what the white man would have said. But when Charlie, she blatantly asked, "Are you trying to get laws passed based on your religion?" I mean, sort of, but not really. Then, bitch, you're being unconstitutional.
Oh.
Should apply to unborn life as it does to born life.
Okay. So again, reiterating, you're not trying to instate laws based on Christian beliefs because that would be unconstitutional, right?
Well, not again, sort of, but no, I am not using scripture to defend my beliefs. However, my personal convictions start with scripture, but the political views that we're talking about here are all defensible using reason and Western tradition.
Even if you're not using scripture, Charlie, right? And again, I had to say this because they're going to make it seem like everybody on the left. Man, please close these doors when you leave out. They're making it seem, not they, let me be specific. Charlie's making it seem as if, okay, yes, you don't use Bible scriptures, which I'm going to debunk too because I have videos of him using Bible scriptures. But you are talking about the Bible. You're talking about what God thinks about abortion, about what religion is based on. Charlie even goes so far to say that our country will not be the same until we go back to Christian beliefs and Christian structure households, right? And I think that's the problem. Hey, Jazz, welcome to the show. Shout out to Jazz for joining us. It's a great show so far. Loving the commentary. We just want to break down what Charlie said. Like, to say that Charlie is not racist, but I have a video clip of him calling a man a chink. I mean, it's ridiculous. Again, I'm going to go to it now.
And one of the largest voices on the right. His fame is a relatively new thing. He went from being known only by online political junkies like myself in the late 2010s.
I live like a capitalist every single day, Shank. I live as a capitalist, okay? I live when I believe. No. What do? I get dirty every single year. Hold on. What's my salary? Less than his.
Charlie, take a
Come on, Shank, let's go.
Charlie, what are you doing? Take a seat. Take a seat.
To being known by basically every single teenager in America with a TikTok account.
A fetus is in utero.
What does fetus mean in Latin?
What the? I'm sorry. Is this
It means little human being.
I'm gonna get back to the Charlie Kirk racist video, but I promised Amir in his comments when we had the conversation that I would actually respond to his video, and not attack him, but just simply say that I think he's wrong for trying to say that Charlie Kirk was not a racist. He was against women, specifically black women. That video I already have put up because I found it disgusting because I got two daughters. My wife is about to get her master's degree. She's working on that right now in Kenosha. Right? But at the end of the day, I'm going to play it again because this is the type of shit that Charlie wants us to. Sorry, not Charlie. He's dead. He don't want anything now. But the people like Amir that's defending him, they want us to simply, as always, they want us to be the better person, black people. They want us to forget about the wrong things that this person said about us. Forget about, as a black man, as a father, the shit that he said about black women. Bro, that can be my daughter. One day, what if my daughter want to be a pilot? I'll be damned if somebody like Charlie Kirk, after she gets a job, you begin harassing her because, I know that's a stretch, but in my opinion, that's what he was doing with clips like this. Harassing black women. He directly named Ketanji Brown and fucking Michelle Obama, who is a Harvard graduate. And then he tried to make it seem like in one clip, you know what? I'm ranting right now. Let me play the clip.
Joy Reid and Michelle Obama and Sheila Jackson Lee and Ketanji Brown Jackson were affirmative action picks.
Let me not get triggered. But again, I just want to show you guys Charlie Kirk's education. Charlie Kirk went to a school called Harper College, which is in a city called Palatine, Illinois. I live in Zion. Where is it? How you pronounce it? Palatine?
Yeah.
Okay, he went to a school called Harper College, which is a community college in Palatine, Illinois. All right. To me, and then he fucking dropped out one semester afterwards. So you're not even qualified to speak on somebody like Joy Reid or Kamala Harris, who, again, not only was she sitting vice president, but she was district attorney in the state of California, right? She was one of the highest ranking attorneys in the country, right? And this is why I try to tell people when they was talking about Donald Trump, Whether you like Donald Trump or not, you have to tell the truth. He don't have no fucking qualifications in the same way that Charlie Kirk doesn't have any fucking qualifications. He don't have any. And instead of the right being honest about people like Charlie Kirk, they choose to lie. Now, again, I'm going to play what he said about black women. He didn't name any black men. He didn't name Barack Obama, right? He didn't name, what's the Chicago mayor, Brandon Johnson. He didn't name these men, and maybe it's because he's sexist too. I do think that Charlie Kirk had an issue with black women. I just don't know what it was, right? Let me turn this background music off so you guys can hear the Charlie Kirk clip, because it's actually fucking disgusting.
We would have been called the racist. But now Joy Reid and Michelle Obama and Sheila Jackson Lee and Ketanji Brown Jackson were affirmative action picks, we would have been called the racist. But now they're coming out and they're saying it for us. They're coming out and they're saying, I'm only here because of affirmative action. Yeah, we know. You do not have the brain processing power to otherwise be taken really seriously.
The fuck does that mean? Again, shout out to Jazz Noel for popping up. We love you, Jazz. That's the only reason why we watch Anton's show. But shout out to Anton too. That nigga be wrong all the time, but this show is not about him today. Charlie, this is one of the most disgusting clips, in my opinion, that exists for you. Right? Especially if we start to look into your education and then we begin to look into other people's education. Right? Now, babe, I looked into Kamala Harris' education. Now, as you can see, I have it up here on Google. I'm going to show the crowd because he said that y'all don't have brain processing power. Charlie Kirk, babe, applied to West Point in New York, the military academy, and he was rejected.
He don't have the intellectual ability to get into West Point.
The intellectual ability, and nor do I think he had the physical capabilities to join the army. Then he was accepted into Baylor University in Waco, Texas, but chose to enroll in Harper College, which is in Palatine, Illinois, and dropped out after only one semester. He doesn't have any education at all. Kamala Harris, on the other hand, right? She has, and make sure I got this right because I went to this one. Boom. Kamala Harris has her Bachelor's of Arts from Howard University and a Juris Doctorate from University of California, Hastings College of Law, where she studied political science. But my whole point is she actually graduated with multiple degrees. Charlie Kirk has absolutely no education. He basically has a high school diploma.
Yeah, I have way more education. I have way more education than him.
He literally basically, he's like a GED holder.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I'm sorry. I don't mean to laugh. God rest his soul. But that was some fucked up shit to say, Charlie. And I promise not to be too harsh on this video. But you was harsh too. I want to play the rest of the clip.
You had to go steal a white person's slot to go be taken somewhat seriously. Play cut.
It wasn't you. It wasn't your slot, Charlie. Because you're not qualified. I know for a fact that my wife didn't take your job as a school teacher because you're not qualified to teach children. Because you don't have the degree. Right? I know that young black man that's coding at Google didn't take your job, Charlie, because you don't have the qualifications. I'm actually interested in finding your resume. It took me some time. I haven't found it yet, but I will find it by the end of the week. Charlie, you actually were the person that were not qualified to have conversations about somebody like Kamala Harris, Ketanji Brown, and of all people, attacking the former First Lady, Michelle Obama, is ridiculous considering that you grew up in a state where she was making all kind of fucking moves. If you graduated, they say he graduated from some school in a city called Wheeling, Illinois, and he would have been a teenager around the same time Barack Obama was finishing up his campaigns as president. But he definitely was here when Barack Obama was a senator.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna look more into like I got to figure out what happened. Why Charlie hate black people so much? He was from here. He was from Illinois. I'm from Michigan. I'm from Detroit. I've only been living here for 2 years now.
We're very segregated here, though.
What, you gotta explain it to me.
Illinois is very segregated. We have our pockets where we all live amongst each other. Now, do we come out to blend with others? Yeah. Are people dating others? Yeah. But for the most part, we're very segregated out here. Blacks live in a certain area, Hispanics live in a certain area, white Hispanics live in a certain area, Asians live in a certain area, Middle Eastern, and it go on and go on and go on. Like, we all have our own areas. So where he's from, he's probably was around all white tea people where he's from.
I did drop the link if anybody want to come up for the next 30 minutes. I'm going to have a conversation with anybody, but I'm definitely dropping being honest, being candid. I'm dropping it for Jazz. But we're dropping it for anybody else that want to come up, because I definitely also want to get y'all opinions about these videos. As y'all know, my live streams in the morning are only going for about 2 hours now, because I want to stick to the topic. And I want you guys to also vote on the poll. Was Amir wrong? Was Charlie Kirk a racist? I say yes. While we wait for anybody to come up, I'm going to finish this clip. And then we're going to get out of here.
Reid and Michelle Obama and Sheila Jackson Lee and Ketanji Brown Jackson were affirmative action picks, we would have been called the racist. But now they're coming out and they're saying it for us. They're coming out and they're saying, I'm only here because of affirmative action. Yeah, we know. You do not have the brain processing power to otherwise be taken really seriously. You had to go steal a white person's slot to go be taken somewhat seriously. Play cut 52.
But I rise today as a clear recipient of affirmative action, particularly in higher education. I may have been admitted on affirmative action, both in terms of being a woman and a woman of color, but I can declare that I did not graduate on affirmative action. This is my personal story.
I hear because of action affirmative. She can't even say that. We know. It's very obvious to us that you were not smart enough to be able to get in on your own.
No.
I couldn't make it on.
No, you're not smart enough to make it on your own. You're not smart enough. You weren't taken serious for your brain because you don't have intellectual capacity to where it's suited to be entered into the field that she was in. And he doesn't even understand affirmative action. I think a lot of white men don't even understand affirmative action. And then if you're so upset about affirmative action, then white men put that into place and go take it up with them. But also, affirmative action didn't make her keep her grades. Like, I don't understand. Affirmative action just said, you know what? You already have good grades.
We'll give you a chance.
We're going to give you a chance. And we're going to see what you do with that chance. But us giving you a chance, we're not going to give you any free rides. That means she still had to do the curriculum. She still had to write the papers. She still had to go to class. She still had to make the grades to pass.
Yes.
But you're not a college student, so he doesn't know that.
Yeah, we're talking to somebody who never
went to college and never finished, then graduated. They didn't have any academia. You know how hard it is for me to get work done and rigor that I have to go through so much stuff I have to read and write and check. And each professor is different, the way they want their papers written and MLA and APA. Like, you don't know any of that.
He didn't go to school.
He didn't go to school. Affirmative action gave her a chance. And just because affirmative action gives you a chance doesn't mean you didn't have the brain capacity or the intellectual ability to succeed. That's not what that means. It just means that she had a chance. She already had the brains, you idiot. She was already smart. That's why they considered her. Literally. That's the reason why they considered her. She already had the brains.
She is one of the most intelligent women in America.
In America. Yeah, like, what are you talking about? She's smarter than your wife.
She's smarter than him.
And she's smarter than you. Like, she's smarter than most people around you.
This is what Jazz said. She says, this goofy was paid millions to start his podcast to spread hate and divisive racist lies. He was an uneducated clown, and I can't believe how many people claim he was speaking truth.
Yeah. This is true.
I can't believe it either, Lady Jazz. And I was even more shocked to find out that he was a native of Illinois, because they're trying to build him a statue in Wheeling. I'm doing a pre-recording about that, but they not having it. They signed a petition saying absolutely not. Right?
They don't want that type of attention down there.
I condemn his murder. What happened to him was fucked. But as I told you over and over again, he had it coming, because you're making political enemies. And again, you're shitting on black people, but you're not even watching all the rest of the people that you're creating enemies out of.
Right. But you're so concerned with what black people are doing. I told you, these people are obsessed with us. People are obsessed.
Like on some real shit. Yeah, I see y'all don't claim him. That shit crazy. Yeah, they not going. I actually signed the petition too to not get the statue built.
Yeah, we not putting no statue of him down there.
The fuck? We not about to put no statue. I'm paying taxes in Illinois right now. I refuse.
And taxes are high here.
Higher than a motherfucker.
They are high as hell here.
But the whole point is this, right? Kirk, and I don't like. Do you want to see what he said about George Floyd and MLK? And have you seen what he said about Joe Biden? Because I got that video.
I haven't seen what he said about Joe Biden.
All right. So
about George Floyd, but
earlier in the video, let
me start drinking. It's my birthday.
Happy birthday, wife. I'm about to end it soon, like in the next 20 minutes. Earlier in Amir's video, right? He was talking about political violence. And I'm just gonna go back to that video. Oh, not me showing the camera. Child. Let me go back to the video of Amir. So Amir was talking about political violence, and he started off with the Second Amendment, with the infamous clip that's going around of Charlie saying that there needs to be a certain amount of, deaths every year. And let me just play that right now.
Gun death. That is nonsense. It's drivel. But I think it's worth it. I think it's worth to have a cost of, unfortunately, some gun deaths every single year, so that we can have the Second Amendment to protect our other God-given rights. That is a prudent deal. It is rational.
And this is important because it's a clip that's kind of like a gotcha. Well, Charlie called for this. He asked for this. No, he did not. There's a strong difference between advocating for gun rights because you can protect yourself, but your personal safety, and also from a tyrannical government, versus the right for mentally ill people to commit political assassinations.
Okay, hold on. Before you go off, because he's making it seem like it's the right.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you guys are calling for political assassinations. It's not the left doing it, and let's show the proof. This is Charlie Kirk talking about former president Joe Biden.
Dementia-filled Alzheimer's Joe Biden. A lot. I mean, Joe Biden is a bumbling, dementia-filled Alzheimer's corrupt tyrant who should honestly be put in prison and or given the death penalty for his crimes against America.
What the hell is this? What the hell is this? Like, what are you talking about? The fact that you're over here making up so much, he's just spilling out bullshit out of his mouth and just saying any and everything to get such a response out of people, that to the fact that he's not even making any sense. There would be no reason to put Joe Biden in jail. There would be no reason to cause for him to die.
I personally feel like the Secret Service should have had him arrested.
Yeah,
after he said that Joe Biden should be put to death for his crimes against America. Forgive me, because maybe as a black man, my brain is not processing enough right now. But I thought that President Donald Trump actually was the president that has the convictions, not former President Joe Biden. I thought it was Donald Trump that is a convicted felon, and not Joe Biden.
Twice impeached. Convicted felon, twice impeached.
Wasn't he the one giving away secrets of America?
Yeah.
Has Joe Biden ever even been accused?
Biden has never committed treason.
There's never even been no accusations of Biden. No. And y'all know who know me. I don't even fuck with Biden. I love Kamala, but I don't fuck with Biden.
The truth is the truth.
But the truth is the truth.
It's just the facts. Why would you go online and say something like that when we know it's not true?
Bandit.
Why would we go online and say something like that when we know it's not true?
And advocating for, again,
A
president's death is
right,
insane.
it's crazy. But then you won't want someone doing that to Donald Trump. Nor should people.
Oh, but we don't want people advocating for what happened to Charlie Kirk.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, no, you don't get to have it both ways. My husband feels some type of way about him. Personally, me, he got what he got. He deserved it.
I don't feel no type of way about Charlie specifically, but because we are American, even though he was a fuck nigga, I don't have to be one. So I'm not going to celebrate what happened to him. Not today, not tomorrow, never. However, as I explained already to you, in our private group of friends, he had this coming. I said it's the same thing about because we're in Chicago. I'm gonna keep it 1,000. The same thing with somebody like King Von. Yeah, so maybe he didn't deserve it, but he for sure had it coming, right? If and we have conversations about niggas who live in the streets when they die. They say they had it coming because all the shit they was into. Yeah. Charlie was a victim to his own propaganda. He literally said out of his own mouth that we need a few gun deaths every year to keep our gun rights. Okay, cool. So we're going to consider his death
as
one of the deaths, so I can keep my gun rights.
And thanks
right?
to you, I'm gonna go practice. I already told you I gotta give me a pum pum.
He didn't think about those other people having families. He didn't think about any of those things at all. Only thing he said was, "Oh yeah, they had to die so we can keep our rights."
And he never considered that someone that looks like him would do it to him. He thought that every white tea person was on his side. Every white tea man thought like you. And that was his downfall. While you over here so busy watching black people and paying attention to us, you weren't even paying attention to what the people that look like you was doing.
He was a blatant fucking racist. Yeah. He talked about black women on a consistent basis. If I had ever saw Charlie in real life, I probably want to smack the fuck out of him.
I think he liked the Candace Owens, and I think he liked her more than what he liked her. And I think she was like, no, not going for it.
I hate to put this on her jacket, and I don't usually pussy police, but I definitely, because based on how she moved and how he talk about black women, I just don't see him hiring her unless she was.
That's my point.
Unless she was serving him in other ways that I can't confirm. You know what I mean? But I don't even want to speak on no black women like that, especially Candace, because I fuck with Candace.
I think maybe they may have
but she's also a bigot.
She is.
This. Listen, and I told you this when I did my first fucking Charlie Kirk video. Excuse me, guys. Sorry. Charlie Kirk hiring Candace Owens and the damage she did to Black Lives Matter was a documentary.
Oh yeah.
The damage that she did to VP Harris' race, questioning who her grandmother is, it was invaluable to the other side. It helped Donald Trump so much, capturing the youth, getting them to go out and vote, making them feel like if they don't vote for Donald Trump, America was going to be, Detroit, or go to
Puerto Rico,
or Puerto Rico, or go to a fucking point of socialism. They perfectly use, and I say the Republicans, they used Charlie Kirk until they didn't need him no more. I'm not gonna get into no conspiracies, but in my opinion, they used him until they didn't need him no more, and now he's gone.
Yeah.
But I think that we have thoroughly, because we don't have to stay here all day, we have thoroughly debunked all of Amir's lies to defend Charlie Kirk. Cool. He was a racist. He was a misogynist. He hated black women. He hated educated black women even more. Right? We got video of him calling an Asian man a chink. Right? We have video of him saying that President Joe Biden, for some reason, should be put to death.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because of his war crimes, alleged. But people who feel like you should have been put to death, they're getting their jobs taken away. They're losing streams of income, et cetera, et cetera. Literally, Charlie Kirk's death sparked an attack on American free speech.
Yep.
Charlie Kirk's death and people speaking about it, people said you can't say that. For years in America, you can click on any TV show, they can say nigga, they can talk about killing niggas, selling niggas, drugs, fucking niggas, you know what I'm saying, stabbing niggas. And this is regulated by the FCC, and they allows this, right? They allow this all fucking day, right? In Chicago, right now, I can turn on the radio and hear King Louis, To Live and Die in Chicago, any day. But I can't listen to somebody talk shit about Charlie Kirk's death because they don't have the right to now as an American. And this is what I'm going to end my video on saying this. The ultimate disrespect that I saw since Charlie Kirk's death was the disrespect to dead veterans. Honoring Charlie Kirk, one with a Medal of Freedom, a man who was rejected from West Point, is fucking ridiculous. Attacking Americans for free speech, denying Jimmy Kimmel the right to speak, when you have dead soldiers in the ground now who went to the grave believing that they was losing their fucking life and bleeding out for something that they thought was going to make America great, which is free speech. It's our First Amendment for a reason. We can't have a justice system if the judge isn't allowed to speak freely.
It's trying to sanction judges too.
Right?
Yeah.
We can't have an education system if our teachers are not allowed to speak freely. I just don't fully understand why our country have decided to go into tyranny over a man who was extremely divisive, died before he was even 35 years old, a young man, bro. Didn't even get a chance to see his daughter. And I said it too. Charlie Kirk made his wife a baby mama. Whether he did it intentionally or not, that's what it is. She a baby mama now. And the only reason why I say that so harshly without any empathy is because I've heard how he speak about black women, how Charlie Kirk speak about black women, how people who support Charlie Kirk speak about black women. I've heard how they speak about black women so much, and it's always negative. Always negative. So I'm definitely doing a lot of more Charlie Kirk content, guys, coming soon. My wife is probably going to do a video, but not today. We about to get drunk and get high because today's her birthday. We going out. Having fun. I'm having sex. But until then, I'll see y'all later. Shout out to everybody that joined. Shout out to Jazz for joining. Shout out to Nate for joining. Shout out to my wife for joining. Obviously, who else came through? Vixen Forever, she came through. My brother, Truck and Trader, came through. I think I said Nate already came through. Anglo-Saxon, child. I don't know why you came through, Anglo-Saxon. And everybody else that joined us, I appreciate you guys. And we love you all. With that being said, bye.